This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, I'm guessing you know by now that the meeting is being recorded. So this is our coding camp. We have over 100 people here listening to you today. Yes, there is 110 total people. So we're all here to basically listen to you talk about like your career at Google and how you really got into it. So if you would like to start by introducing yourself really quickly.
Sure, happy to do that, Adi. Let me introduce myself. But then I'll also like to know more about these students, like how old they are, what are they studying, what is their interest level in technology, and what have they done so far. So we'd love to know that. But let me start with my introduction first. Hi, everyone. This is Hitesh. I'm at Google and I build products for Google in different areas in different countries globally. And excited to be here talking to you guys. Before Google, I was with Citi Bank, where I was building products. I was working on some financial products. I did my studies, some of it from US and some of it from India. I did engineering from India and did my master's in business from US. So that is my background. I'm currently living in California.
All right, thank you so much for that. So basically, so all the kids here are between the ages of 8 to 15. We're teaching about basically 6 different classes. We're doing Scratch, Python, Java, AI and data science, robotics, and app development. So I guess maybe if you could elaborate a bit more about what you do and how you really got into it.
Okay. I didn't have a computer when I was 15, so it seems like a strong progress that you have made, Adi, with this group. So cool on that. So at Google, I build payments related products where my team integrates different payment methods such as wallets, card, subscription, or when you buy games, Candy Crush, you can have that transaction done. So whenever Google goes to a new country or launches a new business, we are one of the first teams that they work with in a new country or a new setting to make sure that we are ready to sell our products in that country.
No, that's actually really cool. So I guess could you elaborate a bit more about how you got to Google and I guess what really led you to, I guess, this path that you're on now?
Yeah. So I did engineering and then I was in engineering for a few years, but then I studied business and I got swayed into the world of finance where I was working in investment banking, venture capital, and different stuff. But after a few years, I realized I missed technology and I want to learn that. And that switch led me to Google. I felt Google is where I can have a large impact. I think few billions of users use Google products, Maps, Play Store, Android, Gmail, and many other products. Similarly, they have a very strong team of engineers, very strong team of designers, and a very global presence. So as a result,
Yeah,
the
sorry,
work that
Hitesh.
I do, I can see the
Mr.
impacts
Aggarwal,
of it in a huge setting to billions of users around the world.
can you hear me?
So that was my motivation to get question. I can now, yes.
Yeah, sorry, we kind of lost you there for a bit. Our Wi-Fi cut out slightly.
No
So
worries.
I the
I
gist
was
of it
saying,
about your path from finance to Google. So
sure.
questions that we've got for you. Well, so since we're all students here, we were just wondering what are the best ways for a student to get involved or start learning in this field?
Hmm. So I think what you're doing already, Adi, it makes sense. You're already getting yourself acclimatized and expert in technologies like Python, Scratch, and others. So you got a good foundation to start learning.
Yeah. Sorry, the Wi-Fi is slightly cutting out on our end.
guys know a lot. You guys must be doing a lot of boot camps, hackathon, taking part in way forward.
I think it must be all of the different like computers right here, but we
Adi, do
can't
you want
hear
me
him.
to join from the phone?
Yes, please. Could you also join from like a different
You want me
device where we can?
Let me try that. Let me try that.
All right, I see your phone. All right, hello, Mr. Aggarwal, can you hear us? You're muted.
I'm saying, is this better?
Yes, this is much better. Thank you.
Cool. Let me keep
All
my
right,
video
so
on for a
I'm
few
gonna
minutes.
yes, I'm gonna re-ask my question. So what do you think are the best ways for a student to get involved or start learning in this field?
So I think what you're doing is absolutely right. You're getting yourself hands dirty in various different technologies at the same time, which is the right way forward. This is a fast evolving field. I also suggest doing as much online and offline competitions, hackathons as possible. Age is no bar in this field. So don't worry about what level is this for. Just step in and try to explore as much as possible. There are also a lot of good online courses, free online courses like CS50 is the one that I recommend anyone who is starting up with that. And you may have more details, feel free to share. And even that same prof, same Harvard website
Yep.
has a lot of other courses as well. Those are freely available, and I think you can sign
Yep.
up for coursework extra as well.
Absolutely. Yes, we will definitely pass that on. And how do you like as you're like an active member in your industry, how do you expect, I guess, the field to change over the next 5, 10, even 20 years?
Hmm. I think a lot more new technologies would come up in different areas. So instead of being expert in any one language, one syntax, it's better to understand overall base. Like what are some of the algorithms? What are some of the libraries and things like that? How do you convert it from one to another? So that is important. Second, I also feel there will be specializations. There will be fields coming up like machine learning, AI, blockchain, AR, VR,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
So good
Teaching
to
an
get
AI
your.
class.
That's awesome. Like a virtual reality or augmented reality and all those. So getting a doing a small projects and upcoming fields would keep you latest, keep you upgraded to what is coming next.
Yep. And I'm going to open it up to the audience. Do any of you guys have a question? Just say your name so he can hear you as well.
Hi, I'm Finn. So I have a quick question about where would be like the best way or best place to kind of start off in like this kind of field of coding, technology, even finance? Like where would the best place to kind of start and like work your way up be?
Mr. Aggarwal, were you able to hear that?
Yeah, Adi, can you repeat it again?
Yes, I'm going to bring this a bit closer to Finn. So Finn, just repeat your question one more time.
So where would be like the best place to start off with the whole finance, coding, programming, all of that, like kind of business stuff? Where the best place to be to like start off and work your way up?
Like, how should he start his career? What should he do to like begin? Is
Yeah.
what he's wondering.
I think you are already learning or as a part of the boot camps nearby you and including this one, you will get good at technology. Right? You can do code, you can build stuff. But I think the question is around business and finance. Where how do you apply those things that you learn? I think the best way is to do as many internships and as many external real life projects as you can. A lot of startups are looking for talent, and no one says no to a free talent. So trying to find smaller startups, new companies, and presenting yourself in the beginning, at least as a free resource, so that they are more eager to take you. They are more eager to work with you, and they ignore a lot of the things at your end that you may not have experienced. You may be younger than your age and things like that. But if you are good in technology and you're ready to work for a relatively lower cost, that could give you a good way in into some of the business, financial technologies and other field, so that you can try out what you have learned in the technology class.
All right, thank you so much for that. On to our next question. Just say your name, how old you
Hi,
are.
my name's Kyle. I'm 9 years old. Hi, my name's Kyle. I'm 9 years old. How did you end up working for Citibank?
How did I
That's the
end up
first
working for Citi Bank? Oh, that's a good one. So I graduated from a business school, and Citibank was one of the employers.
Which business school? If
Citibank
you don't
was-
mind sharing.
Citibank was one of the employer that hires from business school. So I applied after my degree, and I was old enough to be eligible at that time to go to college and go through the formal process. So it was not as out of the way as you guys are doing right now. So it was more or less a standard process at that time.
All right, thank you for that. On to our next question, actually. So just say your name and your age.
Hi, I'm Naina and I'm 10. What's a good type of code to start when if you want to be an engineer when you're older?
So again, that's a good one. Thanks for that. I would say the language and the code may not matter. You can start with Scratch or C or whatever you've easy to work with, and be easy accessibility too. So if you like any instructor, if you like any online courses, whatever you can easily get, try with that. And eventually in your age you will end up working with multiple languages at the same time. You will end up switching from one language to another. Like HTML is another very easy and popular one for young students who get to see the output of their work very quickly. So I think you will have a lot of options available. Some of those are HTML, Scratch, C++.
So any other questions? Right back there. Just give me 1 second. So just say your name and your age. Really quick.
Yeah, so I'm Navya and I'm 12. So what type of coding language is most used out in the field nowadays, like Java, Python, etc.?
Yeah, that's a good one. Again, I mean, this is a very fast evolving field. I think most of the conversations that I will have with engineers are not around the language. They have kind of a move beyond the language part. So they will write a code in one language and they can easily convert it to the another language. So I think anything like Java or Python is the mainstay, and many of the languages could be the variants of those languages. Addy, anything
Right,
you like to add?
Sorry? No, I think you covered it pretty well. Basically, what we're looking to do here as well, and give them like a taste of everything here. Got one more question, actually, if you don't mind answering.
Sure.
Human age.
My name's Tommy. I'm 8 and
What's your question? What do you want to ask?
how complicated is JavaScript? I've never done it. So.
Yeah, Tommy's just starting off. So he wants to know how complicated is JavaScript.
Eddie, you take a shot at this one.
Oh, well, I think you're the real expert here, but I think through our classes we can help Tommy learn more about the field and eventually get him there. But hopefully in a few years' time it won't seem complicated. That's what I can say on my end. All right, I have one more question actually. Thank you so much for this. We've got a few more questions. All right, let's say your name and age.
Hi, I'm Rosie and I'm 9. What type of coding is your favorite?
What type of coding is your favorite, Mr. Aggarwal?
So I've graduated beyond that. I used to do coding when I was in the engineering jobs, but I'm now in more of a business and product manager job. So I don't do professional coding now, but when I used to do back then, it was primarily C++ coding, and I used to love that.
All right, thank you for that. We've got a few questions from the other room as well, actually. So they've sent them to me because they're in the other room. So they were wondering, what do you do in a day?
Or what do I do in a day? Do you want me to walk
Yes.
through you through a day of an engineer or to a PM, or it doesn't matter? Let's me walk to a journal one. What's your
Walk us through what today is like for you. Like, what was Friday like for you, basically?
okay? Let me because these guys are more mainly doing coding. Let me tell you what I see an engineer do and every day, most of his time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in the morning, most of the engineering team would have some kind of a sprint or team meeting, a very short one, to do a quick update on how has last few days or yesterday been, what tasks were they able to do and what are pending, and then a quick sync on what should be the game plan for today. So you decide that in the morning. Then you essentially spend most of your day coding, building the product and building different features, functionalities. You may have some meetings with the product managers to see what is our roadmap, where are we moving forward. You could have few meetings with the UX, with the user experience team, to
Yes.
see how will this look from the user end, what should be the screens like, what will be the text like, and things like that. You could
It's really
also
oversee
have
experience, basically.
oversee the experience. Yeah, it allows the engineers to free up some of that bandwidth if someone is
Yeah.
dedicatedly looking at how will this look to an external world. You may also have a quick meeting with the testing QA, quality analysis and testing team, depending on which phase is your product. If you have already launched it in a sandbox, or if you have launched it for X percentage of population. Like when we launch products here, we don't launch it for everyone at the same time. We start with 1% of a population in that country, and then we very keenly measure all the results for it, like how are different metrics performing, are we breaking stuff more than we are helping it. If that is the case, we need to pause it and patch it up and then launch it again. But if all the metrics look good, we get a signal to move ahead to say 5% of the population, 10%. So it takes us few days to do from 0 to 100, and at every step we will measure a lot. So that are our meetings with the testing team. Then we may also have some joint meetings with other cross-functional teams like legal, compliance, risk, based on what type of products you are launching. But overall, the intent is to minimize the meetings for engineers and give them as much productive time as they can. There are a lot of
Yes.
facilities at Google campus as well. You have gyms, you have pools, you have free food here, lots of them. You can also play games at the end of your day. So there's soccer, there's basketball, football, cricket, hockey, everything here. So I see it's like a large campus where people work hard, play hard.
No, that's great. From our other room, what we were trying to do is, Ashir, do you want to ask any questions?
Yes. So we're from the other room. We have our we have the AI and data science, Scratch and robotics students here, and so we all have a few questions. So first off, we have a question from one of our students.
Hi, my name is Jack, and I'm going into 4th grade. What made you work at Google, or what? Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was very passionate about building products, working in technology, and building products that everyone will use, that a large population will use, that will have a positive impact on a lot of people's life. And I found Google to be an amazing place for that, because almost everyone in our life, every person that I see is using one or the other Google product. Either you're using Google Search, Gmail, Google Maps. If you're a business site entrepreneur or a startup founder or even a large business, you're using Google Cloud, Google Ads, and things like that. So Google touches different spheres of our life. So the impact that I can have working at Google is a much broader scale. It's a much larger scale. In over 200 countries, over maybe 3 billion users worldwide, they are using Google products. So that was my motivation behind working at Google. And another reason was Google gives you the flexibility, an option to work on different kind of products. I can work on self-driving cars within Waymo. I can work on some of their moonshot products that they have. I can also work on Google Maps. I can work on Gmail. So I have an option to work on different products here. So overall, a large company with big impact and a lot of options for us to work in different areas.
Great, thank you. So another question we have is, what's your current project slash product you're working on at Google?
Yeah. So I'm currently working on launching new payments products for Google. Payments is the way that Google collects money from different users, from businesses as well as consumers. There are products like Google Wallet that were recently upgraded, where you could save your different cards, different authorization. There are products like Google Pay that you can use to do peer-to-peer transactions, or you can use to pay for things that you buy. And there's also a big team at Google that enables Google to collect money from users in over 200 countries. So I'm working on all those products to make sure that Google is able to collect money from the users who want to buy Google products.
Awesome, thank you. We have one more question from here.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. We wanted to ask, when beginning in this field, like before all the big companies, what should one start off doing first?
I'm very good. I would say strongly suggest you to working for smaller companies first, because they are more forgiving of the areas that you don't know. They are more open to try a new kind of talent, and they're easier to break into. So you spend less of your bandwidth on getting in and more of your bandwidth on doing the stuff. You learn more and you build your resume. And once you're at a stage where you can choose between large companies or small companies, then you can take a call. But definitely starts with smaller companies, with smaller startups, and see what you like working on. It's easier to experiment in those settings. I would also suggest you guys to, at your age, there must be a lot of scholarship opportunities available from different tech companies, from Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and few others, or maybe even different universities. There are a lot of free courses available as well. Adi might have a few of them available to him as well, known to him. So definitely try for all of those opportunities, all of those free internships, all of those project work, all of those school competitions that you can take part in. That will allow you to connect to more people of similar thinking and will open up new doors for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think we have one last question. I'm just gonna bring it over here. So, just say your name and your.
My name is Amara, and I'm wondering, which city bank do you work at? Because my dad works there, and there's a lot, right?
There are a lot of city banks in US as well. I used to work one in Manhattan.
Yeah, right in New York City, right?
New York City.
No, but thank you so much for this. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time, Mr. Aggarwal, to talk to all the kids. Actually, wait, there might be one more question in the other room. Sorry about that.
Hi.
No worries.
Ishir?
Let's take the last one. Yes.
Hi, my name is Savani. And I was wondering, so what was the interview process for Google like?
That's a heavy one, but let me try to answer it in 1 minute we have. Google interview process consists of multiple rounds. It tests you on things like, obviously, what is required for a core job, which is coding. So multiple coding interviews. It could be some behavior interviews as well, to understand how well do you work with other people in your team. It could also have a component of googliness, which means are you fit for, based on cultural and other things, fit for the company. And then you may also have some product strategy, product design questions. How do you think about from the user's perspective when you're building something? You take into account their preferences, their options, how empathetic you are to a user. So there are multiple rounds depending on where you are. It could start with phone screening, and then it could be an on-site where you're invited to the Google campus where you do most of your interviews. So it's a fun process. You may find more details online on the Google website as well. But happy to answer more questions, Adi. Thanks for inviting me. And if there are more questions, we can connect again, and happy to guide you through if there are anything specific I can
Thank you
help
so
with.
much for this. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Aggarwal, for coming in and really talking to the kids. This has been really interesting for all of them, and they all really appreciate it. Just give them one last wave, guys. All right. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
everyone. You're doing a great job. I wish I had this kind of opportunity when I was 9 to 15. So you're on a much better
Yeah.
track. You will do much larger things. Thank you so much for inviting me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.